Okay, if you're one of these people that looks for stocks to trade the next day, and I obviously you watch my videos, I run a scan, several scans every night, and then I build a list and put out a list of stocks that I'll be watching the next day. If you like to scan for stocks that you might want to trade tomorrow, or maybe even you're a swing trader, this particular scan that I'm getting ready to talk about is a good scan for a swing trader as well. Now, keep in mind, I don't swing trade, I don't hold overnight, but this would be a good starting point, in my opinion, for a swing trader. And I actually run this every night looking for potential, what I would call bounce plays, pullbacks to support that might give me a nice setup for a trade the following day. And this one's really simple. You can tweak the parameters any way you want. I just threw out some numbers like you want to pick a minimum stock price so you can weed out penny stocks if you want. So I've chosen a minimum stock price of $1. Put maximum of $80. If you want to trade Teslas and other stuff, you can obviously change those parameters. Keep in mind when you change those values, it helps you pare down the list to the universe of stocks that you're comfortable with. So, and then the only other parameters are you pick your average volume for the stock, and I've chosen I want it to be at least 1 million shares a day or better, and that weeds out stuff that trades 20,000 shares in a day. Stocks like that are absolutely untradeable, so you can always and should always put in minimum volume parameters. And then lastly, and this is what's so simple about this scan, the last parameter is lower 4 days in a row. Right? So it's a very simple scan you can run. Again, tweak the parameters on price and volume the way you want, but just look for stocks that are down 4 days in a row. And then it still takes some legwork, right? Then you'd have to go through, and I'll share some of the results of a scan that I just ran, this exact scan that I just ran that includes Friday, which was September 7th. So in other words, these are stocks that will have been down on Friday 4 days in a row now. At least it could be more, but minimum of 4 days in a row down. And I'll show you what it spits out. I mean, it spits out some decent possible setups for tomorrow. So it's a scan anyone can run. ENDP, very strong stock with this breakout here, flagged, retested the highs, and now 4 days down in a row into the 20-day, right? And some price support to the left. So again, none of these are recommendations to buy, obviously. I'm just giving you an example of what some trades might look like or some setups might look like that run this scan. And I'll babble a little bit about what I see. Now, Ameritrade, AMTD, down 4 days in a row to, some okay support, but it also has tested the support, 3 times. So, I don't love this one, but doesn't hurt to look at everything the scan spits out. This is COP, ConocoPhillips, CBRE. I'm just trying to grip through these real quick. EGN, Intel. See, it does. If you see, it's kind of interesting. It gives you stocks that are, and then you look at them and say, well, Intel's pretty close to support. I don't really trade Intel, but HUN, again, look at that. Many days down in a row. It's really done well, bouncing off the 2850 area. So you can see where this scan might spit out some decent results. LKQ, sorry. 4 days in a row back down near that 33-ish support, right? MOS. I don't have the 50-day on here, but this is the 60-period moving average, so you can kind of see that this thing is held pretty well. The 50-day and 60-day aren't going to be very far apart, so you can see that one's kind of down to support. Let's see, AMAT, and it's also going to spit out some ugly stocks, right? Because the parameters aren't, they don't have anything to do with the overall chart, so you can kind of pan out. And also this does help me. It helps me find stocks pulling into support, but it also helps me. Sometimes I'll stumble across something like an AMAT that's getting kind of downside shape, and you might have a snapback reversal setup too. NOV. I'm not going to go into a bunch of these, but I'm just kind of giving you an example. It's a very, very simple scan to run. And then you still have to, as with any occupation, you still got to do some legwork and then scroll through the charts and see if you can find anything you love. Again, it's not my favorite scan for me because I'm a day trader, but it still does help me find stuff that's been very strong and then pulling back into support. So I don't want to babble any further. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. Thanks, guys.